Okay, so we've gone over medications now. You talked about alcohol and the negative impact there on sleep. Let's bring in the other one part of this trifecta, caffeine. What do you think about caffeine in general?
Yeah.
And then how can somebody use that in a healthy way and not negatively impact sleep?
Yes, I love my coffee. So there is a healthier way to do it. Okay. We have to understand this how caffeine actually works. Okay. Caffeine is not necessarily a stimulant like an Adderall would be. Okay. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine. So let's touch on this. So adenosine is a chemical in the brain, and the longer I'm awake, adenosine levels go up, 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 up. Okay, the more adenosine in my brain, the sleepier I feel. Like the drive for sleep is more. Okay, that's why if I've been awake for 24 hours, I could probably fall asleep quicker because I have such a strong drive for sleep. Right. Caffeine works by blocking the adenosine receptor. So although that adenosine level is high, it's as if my brain is basically thinking it feels like the adenosine levels are not high. Okay, so now that it drops my drive for sleep. So that's how it works. Now, caffeine has a very long half life, okay, and it can vary significantly from person to person. So it could be 4 hours, it could be 8 hours, okay. So imagine if I'm having a dose late in the afternoon, let's say 4 p.m., I have a cup of coffee. At bedtime, there's still a significant amount of that caffeine well in my system. And it could do a few things. Number one, I may not be able to fall asleep. But here's another one. I might actually fall asleep despite having had the caffeine. But the sleep architecture is compromised. What is the threshold? How often does my brain wake up in the middle of the night? How much of the deep sleep am I getting? How consolidated is my sleep? Meaning I get to a sleep stage and I actually stay in there rather than jumping from a deep sleep, light sleep, deep sleep, light sleep, right? So caffeine, even if you are asleep, can still be affecting your sleep. So we often hear, oh, I can have an espresso and fall right to sleep. So be careful because your sleep could probably be better if you didn't do that.
Let's tie the adenosine story to naps. What happens when we nap during the day? And then potential impact on sleep architecture at night.
Yeah. So basically, like taking a nap in the middle of the day is basically like having a cup of coffee right then, right? Because see, when you nap, the minute you fall asleep, those adenosine levels, it starts to get washed out, and the adenosine level goes down. And it goes down fast. Okay, so even just a 20-minute nap, I washed out all that adenosine from my system. So now, let's say I took a nap at 4 p.m. and then I get in bed at 10 p.m. I'm trying to go to bed. There's not enough adenosine that has built up. So my drive for sleep is too low and I'm not going to go to bed. I'll struggle. So that's how naps. So I'm not totally against naps, but if it's going to affect your bedtime and your ability to sleep at your recommended bedtime, then it's a problem. But then also you have to ask yourself, why do you feel the need to take a nap in the first place? Because that might be the first sign that you have a sleep disorder. Um, or are you experiencing daytime fatigue or sleepiness due to something else that we need to look at? So
What about other ways, either substances or modalities, maybe even meditation, things we can do to modulate adenosine?
so there's certain kinds of yoga. This type of yoga. It's called yoga nidra, Nidra, yoga nidra. This is a type of yoga that you can do while actually laying down, and it doesn't require stretches, kind of contorting your body, none of that. Okay, you're just laying it down. It's more meditative. Okay, but studies have shown that just half an hour of yoga nidra can result in a drop of daytime sleepiness, improved performance, and even some drop of adenosine just with that alone. So that that could be a hack in someone who, let's say, you don't necessarily want to take a nap, but you want to just get relaxed for an event coming up. Um, you could do some yoga nidra as a substitute for a nap without necessarily affecting your bedtime.
Since you made it to the end of this clip, I know you're going to love the full episode. Click here to watch. I'll see you over there.
This is an alarming study. If you take a group of individuals and you limit them to less than 6 hours of sleep, and you were to check their